Welcome back to r/LifeStories, where we read an insane story about how OP got revenge on his parents, who claimed that he is a loser and will never lead a successful life. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to join our awesome community, and without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is once again an XXL story, so be sure to watch until the end, and it is titled "I now own my parents' house and plan to evict them." So this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, so I worked hard and bought my parents' house. Now, I will admit this right from the start, I'm not a good person by doing what I am doing. I will have to give a little bit of a backstory to explain this whole thing. My parents married young, I was not planned, and when they were growing up, it was the standard thing that when you have a baby, you get your own place. It did not matter if you rented or bought a place. So, with my parents being young and with a baby on the way, they rented from this lovely fellow from Osaka, Japan, who we will call Uncle Kiryu. Now, Uncle Kiryu was a wealthy man who made a lot of money from oil and property, but he started from nothing, so he knew that being young, you need a helping hand to get people started. So he would rent out apartments and houses at lower than market rates for people who wanted a roof over their heads. He still made a profit, and because he had so many properties, he has always had steady income, whether there is a recession, floods, war, etc. Now, Uncle Kiryu was always generous to me and my family, helped where he could. We even had him over for birthdays and New Year's. He once brought me to the dentist when I fell and broke a tooth at age 11, and he paid it without question. Over time, as my parents got older, finished college, got better jobs, he helped them move from a one-bedroom apartment with no garden to a nice townhouse to a 3-bedroom house right outside the city center in Dublin, all of which he owned and rented out to them. However, if Kiryu has a fault, he always tries to see the best in people, even if their flaws are staring him in the face. The reason I am telling you so much about Uncle Kiryu is because he is very important in this story, and because I literally owe him my life. About 12 years after they had me, they unfortunately were in a car accident and had numerous injuries. My dad cracked his ribs and tore a muscle in his back and dislocated both shoulders, and my mom broke her leg in 2 places and shattered her right foot. Thanks to these injuries, they sadly lost their jobs. This was back when you could get away with making people redundant for long-term medical injuries. Thanks to the injuries and losing their jobs, they were stuck at home all day and could do very little except take painkillers and watch TV. I spent a lot of time with family, babysitters, or just hanging out with friends outside for at least a year while they recovered and went through rehab and surgeries. There is a part of long-term injuries that is not always brought up. Pain management. Between broken bones, torn muscles, and not being able to work, mom and dad were in pain and taking a lot of pills and injections just to function. And well, pain medication can be quite addictive and can change you as a person. This was only too clear to see as my parents changed from proud, hard-working, loving people to addicts who cared about getting a fix. Once they recovered from their injuries, they could not get pain pills anymore, so they switched to heroin and alcohol. Once that started, the abuse soon followed. They teased me about everything, making me feel bad about getting 92 on a test.
Why didn't you get the other 8%?
Stealing money I was making at a part-time job I had as a waitress in a hotel.
It's in our house, so it's our money.
Complaining about having to pay for new bras/clothes when I outgrew them, which I unfortunately did a lot, culminating in me learning to sew/make my own bra extenders and repair tears in my clothes and school uniform. To this day, I still have an emergency clothes fund as a just in case. Guilting me into slowly doing more and more housework to the point my days literally consisted of
get up, make the breakfast, go to school, occasionally go to work, come home, do the housework, make dinner, do homework, shower, bed.
The moment that broke me was when I was 17. We had been fighting over something stupid. To this day I still cannot remember what, but I do remember what they said to me. Dad,
you're just a lazy, good-for-nothing woman. All you do is rip your clothes with your fat tits and complain. Even though we keep this roof over your head and food in the fridge.
Mom!
So shut up, you're worthless. You're just going to be a waitress all your life anyway. You're not worth a fiver.
This was followed by a slap from Dad and my mom spitting on me. Have you ever heard the expression, you cannot see the forest through the trees? Well, that damn day lit a fire under me and I got ready to burn the forest down. What followed was me putting all my time into school and work. This part will sound like I'm bragging. I don't mean to. I will try to make it more factual and to the point. The next 5 years seemed to fly by in a month. I don't know how or why, but I turned into a machine and made something of myself. I finished my leaving cert, the equivalent of SAT for you lovely Yanks across the sea, and got into culinary college. Passed with flying colors and a very sticky croque bouche that fell on my teacher, or whatever you pronounce that, and got a job as a prep chef in the hotel I was working at. Moved out of my parents' house and into an apartment, thank you Uncle Kiryu, busted my ass and got promoted to commis chef and then line chef and after about 3 years sous chef. I was not the best chef there, far from it, but until I made sous chef, I was paid hourly, so I worked every hour they would give and that earned me a lot of respect. Plus I would always clear the oil and water drains in the kitchens, save up a lot of money for a rainy day. All the while my parents fell deeper into their addictions. We kept our distance mostly, we saw each other on birthdays, Christmas, etc. Occasionally I would get a call to borrow money for food. Here's a tip, if someone asks for food money, offer to bring them shopping. If they are genuine, they will jump at the chance, if not, they will run. Whenever I visit, their house has fallen into disrepair, broken windows, torn wallpaper, burn marks everywhere, mold in the ceiling, etc. Broken plumbing. Seriously, I had to turn the water off to stop the second floor from being destroyed. Uncle Kiryu notices, but they won't let him in to fix the place up. The moment that made my attitude go from I'm going to make something of myself to I will destroy you was last Christmas. We went to a family get-together and it was the usual party. Big turkey, way too much mulled wine, tons of pressies, old song about Auld Lang Syne and everyone watching Mr. Brown's Boys. It is a popular show with our family. My lovely aunt was telling anyone who would listen how I helped save her daughter's wedding by catering the whole thing. By the way, I didn't, I just put her in contact with a friend of mine who specializes in wedding meals, and my dad, in his pill and mulled wine-induced stupor, decided to rant about my career.
A caterer? A damn caterer? Oh no, I'm sorry, you're some big Ponzi chef. Why didn't you go into construction like me? Do something useful with your life, not some worthless career where all you do is peel potatoes all day.
My mom, of course, decides to chime in and essentially mumbles some inordinate abuse, calling my work not a proper job. Anyone can do it.
A cow like you isn't worth a damn fiver.
Now this is where they touched a nerve. I will admit, I'm a woman who has an ego when it comes to my work. I'm not at the level of Michelin star chefs, but I'm damn good at what I do. I worked hard to get there and I know I am worth something. Skipping forward a couple of weeks and I am at my Uncle Kiryu's house for his New Year's party. He always celebrates it in mid-January for some reason and he's talking about work and how it is a good time to sell some of his properties that are vacant. And it hits me, what if I buy my parents' house? So Uncle Kiryu and I get talking and he realizes that with the house in such a state of disrepair, it would cost a lot to repair, so he agrees to sell it to me at a cheaper price rather than having it fixed up first. I'm not proud of this, but I outright lied to him that I wanted to buy the place to ensure my parents would always have a roof over their heads. And well, it took nearly 6 months, and this is damnable. COVID-19 crisis did not help, but soon enough I got the confirmation from my lawyer and estate agent that I now own my parents' 3-bedroom house and I am their new landlord. As part of the sale, I asked Uncle Kiryu to organize the transfer of rent payments to a new bank account that I set up, and I've had him work as my intermediary with them, so they haven't had to meet their new landlord yet. I cannot evict them yet. There's currently a freeze on evictions in my country, but once the pandemic crisis is done, they will have 3 months to get the hell out, then I can fix the damage they have done and move into my own home. Meanwhile, they are on benefits and can barely afford a damn meal, never mind somewhere to live. I'm watching the calendar, waiting for my date to visit and serve an eviction notice. I'm not the good girl or the hero of this story, but I'm worth more than a $5. Updates. So, this is what people mean by rip my inbox. Wow, there's been a lot of feedback and advice on this, both in the comments and via PM. Thank you everyone for the advice. Here is the answer to some of the questions I got. Will you tell your Uncle Kiryu the truth? Yes, I will tell him the truth. We are meeting for lunch on Thursday. I'm cooking his favorite. Aren't you buying a heavily damaged and trashed house? I've visited enough to see what I am dealing with. The damage is mostly superficial. The most expensive part will be replacing the carpets, broken shower and broken windows. It will take time to finish redecorating and fixing the place, but here's the thing. The house is mine, I'm not in a rush, and I'm not selling it or trying to rent it out again, so I can take my time to get it right. Rome was not built in a day. Why are you doing this? Some of this is for revenge, but the main motivation is that place was my home. I want to continue my life there and move on from that part of my history. Plus, I am getting a 3-bedroom house in Ireland. It will be mine. I will live there and have my home. Lastly, I can move on from the bad part of my life into a new and hopefully better one. I think the apple does not fall far from the tree / you are full of hate and anger, you are cruel, etc. And yes, you are right, I never claimed to be a hero or a good person in this story. I have a cruel streak. I look after myself first. Not to be crude, but after going through all the hellfire and just pure crap life has thrown at me, I am fighting back and fighting dirty. Have you thought / tried to get your parents into rehab? And yes, I tried, their parents tried, their now ex-friends tried, Uncle Kiryu tried, we all pushed so hard, but it is just too much. I'm just too burnt out from everything to do that again. Why not just cut them out of your life? That is what I am doing. I am cutting them out of my life. Once they are evicted, they are gone. The locks will be changed. I will be getting a new alarm system. I have no intentions of speaking to them again. After some advice, I'm going to go no contact, so no more meeting at birthdays, Xmas, weddings, etc. Insert legal advice involving UK law here. Much obliged and thank you guys. However, there are different laws in the Ireland compared to the UK. Won't your Uncle Kiryu just rent them out another place? I doubt it. He might, but considering the damage done to this house and the strained relationship they have, it is unlikely. Plus, his other properties are, most likely, I could be wrong, outside of their price range. Update with Kiryu. Finally got a chance to meet with Uncle Kiryu. I invited him to taste some of our new dishes in work and admitted to him why I really wanted to buy the house. He nodded and said very simply, I know, I'm not happy about this, but I know why you are doing this, Senshi, his nickname for me. Once I convinced him that I was not planning on burning the house down, he was very concerned about it for some reason. He gave me some advice and gave me the name of a management company, saying that he no longer wanted to be the intermediary. He asked if I realized they would have no home after this and that he cannot save them. I explained that I did. After that, he asked me to cook his favorite dish as punishment and made me promise to give him plenty of notice when the eviction proceedings, so he could be miles away. Thank you to everyone who advised me to tell him you were right. So guys, and that is how the story ends. Do you think that OP's parents deserved it, or do you think that OP went way too far? Let me know your opinions in the comments, and if you have watched until here, you are an absolutely loyal Ripestar, and I am so thankful, and it would be awesome if you could post some star emojis in the comments. Thank you so much. And the last one is called Diva Summer and was posted on r/RipeStories by user Mama-san. One summer, back when I was a teen, I decided to get in shape. Early spring, I took a swimming class that gave you the chance at becoming a Red Cross certified lifeguard. Despite the freezing temperatures of the pool, I had fun. Our instructor was an older entitled woman who kept bringing her 10-year-old daughter with Down syndrome. I will call this little girl Angel and her mom Coach. Coach could have given a drill sergeant a run for miscongeniality. Angel was just that, an angel. Now, Angel had a mental state of about half her age. Every class she was so well behaved that we forgot that she had special needs. The class to teach search and rescue methods came and Coach brought out swim masks, snorkels and flippers. Cue Angel's savage meltdown. Coach forgot her pink mask, snorkel and flippers. Unfortunately, Coach just yelled at Angel to shut up and dry her face or she would get a spanking. My classmates and I were livid, but had no idea that we could have reported her for this. One of the class went to Angel and told her she could ride on his back during the class. Angel was all smiles again to our delight. As we practiced, I noticed that classmates were handing Angel to others with a poop-eating grin. I thought to myself that it was nice that we were taking turns so everyone could participate in class. It became my turn and I was surprised at how light Angel was and swam along the pool surface easily. I began to barely hear the theme to Jaws and water had flooded my snorkel. Now, lifeguards are trained on how to clear water from a snorkel by blowing hard. I did this to only hear the Jaws theme get a little louder and my snorkel filled with water again. I was getting spooked to the point that I started looking around for a shark. When this happened for a third time, I could tell that Jaws music was coming from Angel. I rolled over onto my back and caught her up in my arms to find her giving me the biggest cheesy grin ever. Smiling back at her, we swim over to another person who had not had a turn with her so far and I handed her off. That is when I got to see her humming the Jaws theme and carefully filling up the snorkel to watch us blow the water out. Each time the water shot out of the snorkel, the humming got a little louder. She kept this up until the end of class and everybody got a turn with Angel. When we reached the last class, it was time for the practical. We had to save Coach and use the most difficult carry to remove her safely out of the pool. We all got revenge because we had to subdue/restrain her during the rescue and Angel was cheering us on. Due to being Red Cross certified as a lifeguard, my parents got me a job at 2 Officers Club pool. I didn't argue about it because it was above minimum wage. Sadly, being a lifeguard is mostly sitting on your backside watching others swim. So, my boyfriend at the time talked me into taking a beginner kung fu class with his friends. The classes were hard but fun. Knowing I could put the beat down on somebody was an evil delight. The only thing I did not like was the teacher hitting on me at every class. Boyfriend could do anything because he was only on his green belt and the teacher was a 2nd degree black belt. After a few weeks in a 90 Fahrenheit/32°C gym with no AC, we got to have the class at an old quarry that had flooded and we would go swimming after. Not long after we started swimming, the teacher started making a nuisance of himself. The teacher finally decided to get cute and pull off the bottom of my bikini. Now, he may have been a 2nd degree black belt of Kung Fu, however, the water was my world. I pulled a maneuver that caused me to dive straight down and swim backwards so I could come up behind him. Once behind him, while still underwater, I grabbed the sides of his trunks and yanked them off. I then swam underwater to the shore, climbed up and threw his trunks up the hill. I sat down next to my boyfriend and glared at the teacher. My boyfriend then grabbed my wallet and showed everyone my certification as a lifeguard. I dropped the class after that. Kung Fu Master 0, Diva 1. Thank you very much for the awesome story, Mama-san. And for all the people who are not aware, we have our own subreddit over on Reddit at r/ripestories. If you type in Google Reddit r/ripestories, you will find it. And if you have an interesting story to share, please do so because it is very likely that I might read the story. However, please pay attention to grammar and don't use any bad swear words. Either way, thank you very much for watching and please let me know what you think about this subreddit because today we actually read a new subreddit and I would love to hear your opinion on it. And guys, unfortunately we have already reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories and if you haven't already, please also go to patreon.com/ripeyoutube where I upload exclusive Reddit videos starting at just $3 a month. This is a great way to support me in case you are interested and the chance for me to become independent from YouTube revenue. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video and I hope to see you again tomorrow.